Hey guys, this is Cam, Oregon Knife Guy. Today I'm going to unbox a RoseCraft Blades second. What I picked up was the French Broad Jack. I'm going to compare it to a couple other traditional knife patterns. But first, let's open it and see what exactly makes it a second. So, the second quality knives are at a vastly reduced price. This was less than half of the original cost. Upon first opening, hopefully there's nothing else, but I would say that this bone definitely isn't dyed as well as the other side on the show side. As far as looking at the rest of it, there's zero gapping down the spine. Blade centering is 100% perfect. Action is free, not gritty. Has good walk and talk. Does have that stop pin sound on the close, but great functionally. This knife's great. Yeah, let's get this piece of wax paper in this box out of here. I'm gonna compare it to a couple of traditional patterns. This knife reminds me of another Andy Armstrong design that is quite a bit smaller, and you guys tell me if I'm reaching or not. I'm gonna show you a couple of Andy Armstrong designs, but first, they called this the Cooper head, and to me, it's very similar. I mean, they both have the squared off end down here. A regular dogleg jack comes down to a round cap on the end. I have a more traditional dogleg right here that I'll show. This is a Winchester made by Queen, and you can see that it comes down and rounds off at the end. These are very similar in profile. This has a really wide blade, and they can do that because of the stop pin. They can guarantee that there will be no blade wrap. I'll throw this aside for now. This is another Andy Armstrong design. This is the Rough Rider Reserve Barlow. This is the Rough Rider Reserve Cooper head. Both of these knives were designed when Andy Armstrong worked for Smoky Mountain Knife Works. And when he started his RoseCraft Blades thing, it seemed like he just jumped off of the Rough Rider Reserve and just continued to make this higher quality than standard Rough Rider and just make that their standard. This to me is a little bit large for a slip joint. I know a lot of people like a bigger knife, but I always carry a modern knife, and so I like my slip joints a little bit smaller. I kind of was hoping that was somewhere between the size of this and this, but it'll do. So here I'm just going to lay out some traditional patterns next to it. Here is, I don't know, a smallish to medium Texas toothpick. Winchesters or Queens were a little bit bigger than Case's small toothpick, but not as big as Case's medium toothpick. It's like 3.5, I think. Well, yeah, just a little bit shorter than the French Broad Jack in handle. It's a traditional sow belly Stockman. They're very similar in length, but this Winchester sow belly has 4 blades, and so it's quite a bit wider. No, that's... And then a standard Barlow. That's a Boker spear point. This is closer to the size of slip joint I like to carry. You know, this, I guess this isn't bad. It just seems bigger than it is. I mean, when you compare it to this dogleg whittler that I carry very often, I carry this a lot. They're not really, I mean, the size difference is negligible. It's maybe a 1/4 inch longer, but you get, looks like a 1/2 inch longer blade, and it is a very broad blade. I guess that's where the name comes in. I had another knife that I wanted to compare. Let me make sure I didn't lose it. Oh, I got it. So, this French broadjack, I could leave it as is. It is perfectly functional. Or this is a Brother 1508. And when I got this knife, it was white. As you can see, my dye job is also mottled, but quite a bit darker than theirs. I might touch it, or scuff this up with sandpaper and see if I can get it to accept some more dye. I mean, the backside, I love that red, is gorgeous, and I think it does look better than the color that I ended up with. Although I believe I did red and then black to try to darken it up. So overall, first impressions, this knife could use would benefit from some oil, but the blade is sharp. There's no cracks. There's no gaps at that rosebud shield. The pin work is fantastic. I can't see any gaps. There's no gaps in the inside corners where these meet up. This is, a well-made knife. I'm happy that the reason it was the second was just this, the dye job on the bone. But at the same time, the other knives that, this red is stunning. I would have liked it. I might have to get a first quality one. Well, this is just unboxing. I'll come back. I might show a video of the modification, or I'll at least show it after I do it, if I do it. And I'll touch back in after I've used this for a while to tell you how I like it. I'm Cam, Oregon Knife Guy. And this is the RoseCraft Blades Broad Jack, and I'm out.